Who wants to be the next Italian wine ambassador? Join an exclusive network of 400 Italian wine ambassadors across 48 countries. Vinitaly International Academy is coming to Chicago on October 19th to 21st, and to Almaty, Kazakhstan from November 16th to 18th. Don't miss out. Register now at vinitaly.com.
Official media partner, the Italian Wine Podcast, is delighted to present a series of interviews and highlights from the 2023 Wine2wine Business Forum, featuring Italian wine producers and bringing together some of the most influential voices in the sector to discuss the hottest topics facing the industry today. Don't forget to tune in every Thursday at 3 p.m. or visit theitalianwinepodcast.com for more information.
Okay, so some of you, I think, are aware that we did a small sneak preview with Jeremy Hart, who is the co-founder. Who's the other half? Who is he?
Finance. So he's in former.
So he gives you the money, basically.
No. He's a finance guy. He's a coder.
Okay.
So he's incredibly brilliant.
He's the geek.
Yeah.
And you're the front man?
Yeah, I'm the sales guy.
Okay. All right. So we published like a small preview of the 150 top Italian wine list in American restaurants. We're going to expand on that a little bit. I wanted Jeremy to explain what Somm.ai is all about and how he's able to extract all this data that can be useful for the Italian wine producers. Okay, so he has a small presentation. If you have a question, raise your hand, except Gino. Okay. All right. Take it away, Jeremy.
All right. Perfect. All right. So Somm.ai, we launched in 2021. We commercialized. Our first two clients were Paul Hobbs and Kistler. And so when we first launched, we had 6,800 targets. By targets, I mean accounts in the U.S. Today, we have 46,000. So to kind of give you a scope of where we're currently at, we don't just target the U.S. All the things we'll look at later are going to be U.S. statistics, okay, and data. But just to give you a little quick view of what we also do as well per country. At the very top, you see the USA. You see the total number of placements that we target. We go across all the menus every 2 weeks. So we track all changes at an account level. The magic to our system is that we have everything that's already pre-tagged. And so we know anytime that the AI identifies a SKU on a wine list, we know that SKU, its country, region, sub-region, appellation, and predominant grape varietal. And so from those things, those are sortable features. We also know that SKU, if it's part of a brand, we have it tagged to that. If that brand is part of a wine group or importer, we tag it to that as well. And so now those are sortable features. And as best we can, we tag to the wholesaler at account level. So between all of these things, there's a million different things the platform does. The two major pieces are going to be benchmarking, understanding where you're at in the whole hierarchy and anywhere you want to look, whether you want to look across the country, into a state, into a city, multiple cities, into a zip code, however you want to look at information, you're able to do that. Okay?
Okay. So I see you have some in France, nothing in Italy?
We haven't targeted Italy yet.
Okay.
But we'll definitely want to.
Okay.
We will soon. Yeah.
All righty.
Okay. All right. So if this is a breakdown, I use Germany as an example. We're going to look at American data for all the wine stuff. But this is a breakdown of how you can see our coverage per city, and this is in Germany. I wanted to use the UI for the slides to show you how easy our platform is. Our UI is incredibly slick. Okay. So the way that this reads when you see this is that here you have city. Right now we're looking at Germany. Okay. So you can see by city, the number of accounts that we have. Accounts are anything with a wine list. It could be a restaurant, a wine bar. If they have a wine list, that's what we target. Okay. And we grab everything off the internet. So we grab whether someone takes a picture and it's on the internet, we focus on their websites. One of the things we started doing here recently, if someone's taking a picture of a cocktail and of the menus to the side, if we want to grab that, we grab that as well and we can process it. And we know all the changes that they happen and then the date in which they happen because it's saved in the metadata. Okay?
Okay, for the non-geeks, can you just explain to us again?
We know when the changes happen.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. All right, so the next thing that you see here is placements. So placements is a wine list placement. You can call it a mention, however you want to look at it. That's what we're looking at. So like, for example, in Munich, we target 470 accounts, okay? The amount of placements that we target is almost 51,000. The average price point in Munich for a bottle of wine on a wine list is $68, okay? The last, and you can see here, we're doing it by net ads. So the last year to date, or last 365, it's up 12, which is nominal. It's nothing, right? As far as for net, I'm sorry, that's priced by the glass. I'm sorry, it's cut off right here. Net ads right here is negative 208. Okay. All right. Let's bounce to the next one. This is Canada. This is just another example of showing how we list it by city. You can see accounts, placements, so on and so forth. All right. What we do, benchmarking, lead generation. We're going to bounce back between that a bunch of times today, okay, in different examples, okay? What we do hasn't been done prior. Everyone is always focused on retail. In the US, you build brands on premise. You build them in restaurants. You scale them in retail, okay? There's been a lot of, as far as retail data, it's been around for 20 years. They follow it over anything that goes over conveyor belt, you skew it. There's so many groceries that are major grocery chains, it's very easy to do when you talk about data, okay? If you're talking about 46,000 wine list and having every SKU on them already pre-tagged and sortable, that wasn't possible until now with machine learning, okay? All right, so that's basically showing what we do. We do it in real time, we update every 2 weeks. Account level data, you can see the actual account and their historical records, okay? Data on competitors, in the past, all the data you're able to buy was only for your own products. Now you can see where everyone's at, okay? Next piece on here, we track every SKU. So it's not like half the wine list, just the by the glass list. If there's 5,000 selections, we track 5,000 selections, okay? Next piece on here is that we're broad. We're the biggest that there is. There's never been anything even close to this, okay? All right, this is just showing our growth over time. We started with 6,800, we're now at 46,000. We have about 60 major clients, really, really big clients. Jackson family is about to enter their 3rd-year contract. Wildman, Taub, Terlato, Wilson Daniels, major players, Frescobaldi, Laurent Perrier, Silver Oak, tons. So like a lot of notable names. We're a trusted resource for this. We're proven, okay? All right, so now we're gonna get into how this works. With no filters on, when there's a filter, you'll see a tile, okay? With no filters on, we're gonna search by country. This is how quick this works. I can see what's going on across the country by country of origin, this quick, okay? I can see out of our 46,000 US, there's 44,500 accounts that buy that, okay? That have a US product on their wine list. Next, you can see France, you can see Italy, you can see the number of placements, it's number 3. Average price point is $64 on a wine list. It's up 11,000 placements, which is a 2% increase the last year. Okay? Now, I'm gonna sort for Italy. I put on a filter for Italy, and now we're gonna look by region, okay? So now I can start seeing top regions. I don't have this sorted, I just pulled it up just to look at something really quick. Tuscany's at the very top. That's interesting. Let's go look at Tuscany. I'm going to put on a filter for Tuscany, but now I'm looking at it by appellation, okay? And now I want to see what's doing best by appellation in the US for Tuscany, okay? So as I look at this, one thing pops off immediately. Rosso di Montalcino is incredibly down. They're down 15% right now. That's wild, right? Is there other Tuscan appellations that are down right now? I can now sort this to descending to look at all appellations and then sort them by what's declining the most. It's at the very top. Okay, I'm gonna look a little further. Which producers are hurting the most right now? I can see which producers and then their declines here, okay? We'll get back into this later as far as for targeting other things that you can do with this kind of information. Next piece over here, now I'm putting it, which appellations in Tuscany are doing the best. Right here, and you can see which ones are up the most. By 1,677 placements, IGTs, Super Tuscans are up, okay? If I want to know who's doing best for Super Tuscans, click here, Antinori. They're up. They're up 2.7%, 161 placements last year, okay? So this is how quickly you can get to all this information, right? Next up, we're gonna go look at Piedmont. This is another really powerful piece to the data that has never been able to be viewed before, especially with things like Italy, where everything's talked about in regions or appellations, okay? So now if I want to go in here, and if I want to go look at by varietal in Piedmont, how everything stacks out, you can see Nebbiolo is significantly the leader. Look at its average price point on a wine list. That's wild. Look right here on net ads. It's up 3.3% in a year that was called a recession, right? That's crazy, okay? This is going to shock you guys. Y'all ready for this? The two top producers for Nebbiolo from Piedmont are Barbaresco. Did anyone think that? Right? Okay, so now from here I can see these kinds of things. Look how many placements and accounts they have. They lead in both, right? That's wild, okay? Look at the average price point of Guy on a wine list in America, and it's the most placed Nebbiolo. Okay, other things that you can see from here. Now that we see Barbaresco is interesting, let's go look at this by appellation. So by appellation, I can see that Barolo is definitely the leader, okay? Basically 8,000 accounts, 43,000 placements. It's up, I can see all these things, it's up 4%, okay? Next up, let's go look back at Tuscany. I just put a filter on for Tuscany, you can see it in the tile. I'm looking at it by producer, okay? So this is all of Tuscany. It doesn't go to Chianti or IGT, all of it just by producer, okay? So as I look at this number 1 is Antinori. Okay, that's great to know. So far, everything that I've looked at has been at national information. I can drill down. So if I wanted to go in here, look at some key states, like let's say Illinois, Texas, and New York, I can now sort that information by each, and I can pick what I want to put for these columns. So I'm going to look at it by the number of accounts, the number of placements it has. I'm going to rank off the placements, and then I'm going to add in the average price for each state. So now I can see from here, and I put these in order for Texas. I live in Texas. We're going to talk about Texas. All right. So right here, number 1, I can see that Banffy's number 1 in Texas. If I was Antinori, I'd want to know what's going on in Texas. Okay.
I have a question here, though. You have Castello Banfi and then Antinori.
I know. Right.
Rufino, Tenuta dell'Ornellaia, for those of you who can't read very well, Cavalcanda, Gaia, and then Tenuta Guadaltasso, parentheses, Antinori. What's the difference between Antinori and Tenuta Guadaltasso Antinori?
We have them tagged separately. We can put them together if that's important to those people, but we keep them separate. Just by producer, that's the way we have them listed.
Okay.
If like one producer, we'll show the house that owns it, but essentially if they're separate, as far as like their branding, then we'll separate them from there. If people want us to retag it, we can retag it, and we do that very easily.
But this category was Super Tuscans, right?
No. We're just looking at Tuscany in general.
Okay.
So all of Tuscany. Okay. All right. Now from here, if I want to get some more interesting information on Texas and catch a quick glance of what's going on, I can now zero into the major markets of Texas just by going into city. Now I can see it by Houston. I can see it by Dallas, by Austin. Same for columns teed up. Accounts, placements, rank, so on and so forth. Okay. Besides just looking at these as far as like dots on a map, we can give you account level information. Okay. So now if I want to understand for this category what's where. Oh, sorry about that. I'll jump in that in just a second. Sorry about that. Different slide. We're going to back up really quick. We're going to do the same search that we were just doing, except now we're going to focus on an appellation. We're going to do the Brunello di Montalcino. Okay. Once again, we're focused on Texas, Brunello di Montalcino. We can tell you the total potential for an area. So you might not be in the top 20. You might not be in the top 30. You might not be in the top 10, right? But it's still important to know if you're going to sell in that market, what's the opportunity? You can see it here in the summary. So even though these might list as right here, you're able to see in Texas, there's 519 accounts in Texas that buy Brunello. The total placements between that's 2,300. Average price point you can see there, and you can see if it's a growing category, okay? And you can see Carpazzo's number 1 at the very top. When I click into here, the interesting thing that I see is that Carpazzo's making most of their business in Houston. I live in Houston. The head guy, the vice president of Vineyard Brands lives there. So obviously this is where he's doing a lot of his business, right? I used to sell Colombini, and so that's why this is really, really great right here. All right. Next up, besides just looking at them like this, you can see exactly where the accounts are at. Okay. So in the next piece here, these are the accounts for Brunello in Texas. And when you see the list of accounts, you see their names. You see Mazaraf's. That's Mastro's in Houston. Papa Steakhouse, that's a Grand Award restaurant. Grand Award restaurant. Grand Award restaurant. Tony's, super historical, 55 years, been around. Another Grand Award restaurant. The way that they list, it's listed by best target. So these are accounts that carry a lot of Brunello, starting from the top going down. Other things you'll see on here is that we also tag them by their price point. And you also tag them by what they are. So you can see like New American Seafood Cocktail Bar. You can also see their estimated wine sales. That's proprietary to us. And you can see the last time that they did a menu update. If I ever want to sort by that kind of information, I can look by who's updated their menu most frequently, or I can look by highest wine sales. Okay?
Christopher? You need a mic.
Yeah.
Is there a Chico Kuna?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just hiding out.
I can be really loud. You say menu update. So is that purely an internet update of the wine menu?
Yes.
So it's up to the restaurant to keep that
Yes.
current and ready to
We
roll.
can-
Otherwise, your data will be skewed.
Yes. But if X client wants to pull that information in and have us process it, we do that for some clients. We house them separately, but we also do that as well for some of our major clients.
Well, but if one of your clients is, let's say, a winery who's looking for this data, the data that they're getting is not going to be accurate if the restaurant's not giving you the accurate data on the website.
The big point to note here, if the wine list is still old, that doesn't change it's still a great target, right? So even if that wine list is 3 months old or 9 days old, right? And most of the top end restaurants, out of our 46,000 accounts, we skew towards the high end. Okay. So like out of the Michelin star restaurants in America, our coverage is like 85%. Out of total coverage in the US, we have about 33% of total coverage of accounts in the US. We're 80% independent accounts. We also have tagged in 500 restaurant groups, but we do it very creatively so it doesn't tank the data. Okay. All right. So other things that you can see on here, right? You can see what they're tagged as. These are also sortable features. If I just wanted to go after steakhouses, or if I'm a Sicilian winery and all I want to go target is Sicilian restaurants, I can do that as well. Okay. So from here, next slide, this is where you can actually see what's on what menu and their price on those menus. Okay. Notice the column here. We also track by awards. So if you only want to go after Michelin star restaurants, you want to bump up your prestige, you want to go after James Beard restaurants, you want to go after Grand Awards from Wine Spectator, we can do that as well. Okay. So here you see the name. This is number 1, 2, 3, 4, going across the top 10. These are their prices on these menus. So this was the first listed one. Look how many Brunellos they have just from the top 10 SKUs. So on and so forth. You can see where the by the glasses are. You can see the other formats. That's a half bottle, mag, 3 liter. Okay? So you get a complete view of where your competitors are and where they're at. Okay? I was looking in Texas. Maybe I'm doing a trip to Texas and I'm selling Brunello, but I'm only going to go hit Houston and Dallas. You can geofence to certain cities. And so that's what I did. I threw a lasso around Houston, Houston here, and threw a lasso around Dallas. Okay? Now I can still look at the same information. Other filters I threw in here is that now all I want to go target while I'm on my market visit to Dallas and Houston selling Brunello, I just want to go see steakhouses and Italian restaurants that are the most expensive. Super high-end restaurants. Okay? So these are the 46 accounts I want to go target. These are the wines that are most placed there, and these are their prices. You can export this. Okay? All right, up next, we're going back to Italy. We talked about category of restaurants. We can give you your exact avatar per appellation of where you should be selling your wine best. So like maybe in the past, you're like, I have a high acid white. I should be focusing on sushi restaurants. That seems to be a very good thing, or seafood restaurants, wherever that might be. We can tell you what does best where, okay? And besides just understanding which restaurants to go target and look at, you can go in here as well. And then you can also see their price tier, which ones to focus on for your particular products. Okay? All right. So for the next piece, we're going to do like a hypothetical. And in this situation, this is a wine I used to sell, and I love this producer. I'm going to be Paolo Scavino for a second. Okay? Besides just pulling up a region and benchmarking off of that, I can do it off my own SKU. All the information that we have as far as things are tagged, that's already done. The only information we pull off the wine list is going to be its price. That's how we can build out instant comp sets. So I can benchmark very specifically to certain items, okay? So if I want to go pull up Paolo Scavino, I'm looking at it as a SKU. Look at the tile. Let's look at this one SKU, this one wine from Paolo Scavino. I can see it's in 326 restaurants, and I can see that its price sits usually between 78 to 133. Its median price is $98. I can do a one-click comp, one click. It built out my comp set. Piedmont, Nebbiolo, 78 to 133. 138? I'm blind. All right, you can see it right there. Once again, I can see my total summary of my potential for this one SKU in the US. I can see that I have a possible 5,600 targets, restaurants I can go target for this wine, and I can see that there's 17,000 placements. This is a very ripe thing to go after, okay? And then I can also see if it's trending up or down, but I can also see where I sit in the hierarchy of it instantly, okay? Other things you can do with this is that you can jump over and just look at the top states. So just filter to state. Now you can see how all this stuff shakes out, right? And look right here, this is it's okay. But right here you can see, once again, I'll jump to Texas. It's number 6 in Texas, okay? I can see the number of placements it has and its average price point, okay? And once again, tiles, Piedmont, Nebbiolo, 78 to 133. All right, next piece on here. If I want to go in here, look at an account level, once again, same thing. I can pop into here, it's looking at here, this is showing me exactly where to go fish, right? The name of the account's what I'm going up against in each market, okay? This is a really cool example. Let's say that I'm Paolo Scavino, I want to raise the price of that wine. It's averaging between 70 to 130. Let's go look at 100 to 150. And I want to know my potential, but more importantly, if I'm going to raise my price and I'm going to have a difficult conversation with my wholesaler or importer, I'm going to give them something that's going to incentivize them that they're going to have a plan to go execute this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to look for Barolo this time. I'm not going to look at Nebbiolo and Piedmont. I'm going to zero directly into Barolo. Okay, I'm going to look at 100 to 150, and what I'm going to identify are other SKUs that are doing poorly. Okay, I'm going to identify these two right now. Right?
Are you guys still with us?
Sorry. Yeah. All right. So what I just did is I identified those two SKUs. Now I stacked them next to each other, okay? I can see where they're all sitting as far as my placements, accounts, average price point. I can see that they both are in negative for this price tier, okay? Next thing I can do, 586 accounts that buy one of these 3 SKUs, okay? And now I can see everywhere I don't have a price, that's my targets. I can run a target list this easy and sort it by state and pass it out to my wholesalers or importer or whoever it is, okay? The other major piece that we provide our clients is that you can see what's happening to your wines in real time. And so I can just tee up the brand, Paolo Scavino, and I can see all of my SKUs and the actions that have happened on wine list. So I can see when they lose placements, what the account was, where it was, and what my price was on that menu and what the item was. I can see when they go in. I can see all through here. We update every 2 weeks, so we track all changes. Other things I can do is show sweet spots on wine menus. So earlier when we looked at this information for Barolo, the average sweet spot was $170 on a wine list. If you're only looking at wines between under $200 on a wine list for Barolo, the sweet spot is right at 98.99, right where Scavino was at. Okay, and you can see it here, and you can see the representation. Just look for the high tower. That's his sweet spot. Okay. Other things we can also show here, and this is showing you the 170. This is the average for all Barolo placements, but you can see it by quarter. Is it trending up or down? You can also track for the by the glasses. That's my information.
Let's give it up for Jeremy Hart. He's been incredibly generous to share his data with us. Okay.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.